이게 뭐야?
장난 아니었어요, 오토지가. 이거.
You will travel no further because you are come. Here, you are at the beginning of time.
Here was conceived and lived the great week of the creation of the world and the separation of the earth from the waters. You are at the house of the Father.
Added, superimposed, overdid, outdid, through a span of 20 centuries.
The result is this fabulous labyrinth of facades and passages, esplanades and corridors, perspectives and detours to which only priests and Pharaoh had access.
But the Egyptian is at ease in the circumvolutions of the divine.
From my sandals.
Amun has held this fortress from the 12th dynasty, but with one eclipse, the time of a dissenting pharaoh, the time of a pharaoh who was a poet, the time of Akhenaten, who invented humanism, the time of his love for the all-too-human Nefertiti, whose beauty still haunts us even today.
Who sat a little below it, wearing a royal headdress of vulture feathers. Near to the Father on the...
I, Ramesses III, conceived that more than one resting place was needed for the sacred barks of the Holy Family. So, midway between the sanctuary and the river, I brought into being the work of God along the way to the landing stage when the time comes for the gods' journey to Luxor, for the festival of Obit upon the high waters. And my temple shall also tell how I conquered the peoples of Asia and Africa.
Yet one day, this evening, the pharaohs came and went. The new year returned in mid-July with the impassive rising of the waters. And during the second month of flood, there was the beautiful festival of Opet.
Then, as every summer, we would have witnessed the passing by of the three barks of the Holy Family, borne aloft on the strong arms of men. The bark of Amun, decorated at brow and poop with ram's heads.
The bark of Mut, his wife, decorated with female figures wearing necklaces.
And the bark of their son Khons, decorated with that erected the columns and colossi at Karnak, was a river civilization.
It was by bark that the rose-colored granite, the diorite and alabaster were brought here, each flood bearing tons of raw stone to be shaped and molded on the everlasting work site.
There is something profoundly moving in comparing the tremulous, almost fluid inspiration.
Which little now remains, but a specimen of the papyrus-capped gracious colonnade. and an alabaster block that served as an altar.
I left the symbolic image of all the pharaohs. This gigantic statue rising against the western side of the second pylon.
The 19th dynasty. I claim the honor more than 3. For 67 years, I wore the double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt. 3 royal queens shared my...
Oh, ja. Ja, maar voor dan met de massa
While, to the confused hubbub of words that seemed to seep from these walls, thick with
named basilicas which later were inspired by his plans.
Tutmosis III, Amenophis III. But the history of reigns and events seems so insignificant compared to the imperishable testimony of faith. Men are so made that they remember better the invisible than the real.
2,000 years of royal annals, festivals.
The finest firework display of antiquity.
A dazzling gleam that has lasted 20 centuries. As soon as one cluster of stars faded, another pharaoh fired another salvo.
Over the surrounding country, founded merchant exchanges, cemented alliances.
Thebes is the greatest word in...
And yet they were pleasant houses. Their floors painted with the lotus flower, their walls with frescoes of flights of wild duck, their wooden galleries, their trellises, their arbors, and their maiden...
If some lights are still shining in the from the other bank, long contemplated the great construction site of Karnak, ceaselessly humming with the activity of their successors.
This is the grand archaeological site where they all brought their stone and their prayers. For this divine city of Karnak, a ceaselessly growing collective work, ceaselessly improved, ceaselessly reshaped, is much more than just a temple. Ruin and fire, all conspired to obliterate his image.
Did me when the voice of my heart spoke, telling me to make 2 golden obelisks for
ja siin alleel on kena ja rahulik jalutada. paljude meelispaik. Ja siit igasuguseid huvitavaid väljapanekuid, aga jah, kahjuks selle sama meie reisiprogrammiga jääb nagu, läheb kiireks, et me lihtsalt ei jõua siiguseid puude kauplusi. Tegelikult on ta suht sama süsteem, nagu eile oli seal turul, Anel Halilil Kairos ja sama süsteem, mis on ka Vana-Šarmi turul. Et ikka poes kinni, saab kaubelda ja kõige targem on minna sinna, vaadake jälle seda ilusat Luxori templit jääb vasakule. Et kui te nüüd hotellist tulete, siis enne Luxori templit, kohe tuleb, näeme vasakult seda tänavat ka, et enne Luxori templit pöörate paremale ja siis hakkavadki need kaubandustänavad. Ja seal siis saate ringi kolada. Siit lähete ja sealt hakkavad need kaubandustänavad. Hotellist tulles paremale. Südameni kindlasti, ja, sest kõikides sellistes nii-öelda lõunamaades, kus päeval on väga palav, siis siinsamas on see vasakul on kena purskaev ringi peal, aga hoiate siis Niiluse äärde.